Hello, I am Mikey B. You may know me from Super Hive Productions, the guys that brought you movies such as Flesh Freak 2, Revenge of the Freak, Sleaze King, and Sleaze King 2, and The Real the Punisher, the movie. I also wrote a few books, like my own personal autobiography called Smile Darn You Smile, and my first collection of short stories called Confused at the Buffet. Well, now I want to talk to you about 12 upcoming new projects that I think are really hip and exciting. Just a fair warning that these projects are in different stages of development, so it could be months or years if or when they come out. It's no secret that I love TV. And as a TV lover, I've been working on writing some really great scripts. First, I want to talk about Work Blues. It's a sitcom set in a movie theater. Work Blues is a half-hour multicam sitcom in the style of the classic 90s sitcoms I grew up on. It's about two unlikely best friends who work at a struggling movie theater. Gilbert is a humble man in his late 20s just trying to get by. James is a recent high school graduate who is a whiny, spoiled brat. They started the same day, but quickly realize they need to work together to save the theater because, after all, everyone has a reason for working a job they hate. The show features a fun, supporting cast of characters, wacky schemes, and a killer theme song. The show harkens back to old school sitcoms where they are a little bit silly and can get emotional at times. Work Blues will also be for film buffs who love geeking out over movies and a good reference or two. My goal is to have a total of 12 episodes. So far, I've written 4. The next one is called The Ongoing Adventures of Sleaze King and Skeeter, which is a sequel series to my 2 movies that I made back in the day, The Sleaze King and The Sleaze King 2. The show takes place 7 years after the events of the movie. Skeeter has come back to town a changed man. He has grown and matured. Sleaze King, on the other hand, has not. Through a chance encounter, they reconnect and rekindle their friendship. They bring out the best and the worst in each other. The show will be wacky fun when these two men, now in their 30s, try to relive their glory days and navigate life in their slightly off-kilter town. Think of it as a more grown-up Drake and Josh, or Kenan and Kel, but just as immature. In total, I want to have 6 to 8 episodes. So far, I've written 3. Last thing I have in mind is an animated series called Cryptids and Ghouls. Billy is just an average kid living in the suburbs until one day his humdrum life is flipped upside down when he discovers the realm of cryptids and ghouls. All he wanted was the latest trendy playing cards. Turns out the card game was based on this mystical place and these weird, secretive creatures. Who knew? Through no fault of his own, Billy unleashes 50 or so monsters into town. It's up to him and his buddies to track down every last cryptid and ghoul, seal them away, and be back home by dinner. Animated, satirical, a bit heartwarming, funny as always, set in the late 90s, spoof of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Card Captors, based on my short story of the same name, Cryptids and Ghouls. It's a 12-episode run, 22 minutes per episode, new monsters each episode, a little bit of lore sprinkled in here and there, with maybe a moral at the end of the story. Oh, yes, and I love comic books too. So, of course, I have to make my own. The first one I want to talk about is Superhero USA, which may sound a little generic, but there's definitely some depth to it. In this world, superheroes are regulated by the U.S. government. They are assigned to one of 10 cities across the country. If they choose to opt out, they can never fight crime with their powers. Doing so is very illegal. Most everyone is happy to use their gifts to help protect the innocent. Every 4 years, a contest is held among the cities. It's like the Olympics. The winner receives the highest honor of joining the prestigious national team, the All-Stars. The story starts off in different cities: New York, Chicago, LA, New Orleans, Atlanta, St. Louis, Seattle, Las Vegas, Detroit, and DC, as they prepare for the games selecting their champion. Later, we follow the winner adjusting to their new team, joining legendary heroes such as Eagle Pride, Bro 22, Morph Man, Bunny Rider, and of course the all-powerful Omega. So far, I have an outline for 40 issues. And the second one that I've been working on since 2014 is called The New Elites, which is people with powers, but other things are going on too. Imagine a future world where time travelers and superheroes live side by side, where the most powerful guard us from threats from beyond our solar system. They are called the Elites. But this is not their story. The New Elites are a rookie super-powered team assembled by a marooned time traveler in an effort to save the world from total calamity and restore balance to the timeline. Together, they must overcome physical and mental shortcomings to defend Earth from dinosaur-looking aliens and a rogue, time-traveling evil dictator. The story focuses on Daniel, a young man who is a bit of a loner. He's into weird conspiracies and blogs about his weird dreams, but they turn out to be prophetic messages from his future self. He encounters Lynn, the time traveler, who has taken an interest in his blog. Together, they rally a fledgling super squad to challenge an incredible threat to humanity and the future. But mostly what I'm working on are more books. The one I've been working on the most recently is The Everlasters. Imagine if one day all of a sudden every human on Earth was gifted with immortality and immunity to disease with rapid healing. The only catch is no more babies. That's right, nobody gets pregnant, nobody gets old, everybody stays the same forever. It happened just like that. A big, brilliant, bright light flashes, and all of a sudden, people are changed. The Everlasters follows 4 stories: an old man on his deathbed given a new lease on life, a cancer patient who attributes her miraculous healing to the divine, a mother who lost a child but gained a new perspective, and a medical student who must discover a new purpose in a world where no one gets sick. Through their intertwined stories, the novel examines themes of immortality, purpose, and the human condition played out over centuries. Good times, dark times, marvels of science, a new age of thought and wisdom. Eventually, everyone on Earth gets to know each other and are left wondering, now what? So far, I have 62 pages, but my page goal is 230. One project that's almost done is a poetry collection that spans over 20 years. It's called Save the Blue Ducks. The poems are comedic or weird, sometimes emotional, and sometimes downright dark, but hey, it's okay, it all comes from me. The final product will have roughly 30 poems and several illustrations. I want to say I'm 75% done with it. I feel like it's something I cannot rush, so it will come out when it comes out, but there'll be roughly 30 poems or so. Another novel I'm working on is a buddy adventure sort of thing called Citizen Meat. An eccentric billionaire croaks and leaves his vast fortune to a regular hot dog named Frank, and nothing to his children. Due to some legal mumbo-jumbo, he, the hot dog, must be escorted to Los Angeles to make it official. A bumbling mercenary, Jasper Jones, and his ex-cop ex-partner, Richard Starkley, are hired for the job. They must weave cross-country, avoiding would-be assassins sent by the jaded offspring of the old dead man. If those guys kill Frank, they'll get to split $85 billion. It's up to Richard and Jasper to make sure the hot dog gets to LA safe and sound. It's a road trip like no other. It's a totally wacky, nonsensical novel. So far, I've written 44 pages. My goal is 250. Finally, I'm doing a very ambitious sci-fi sort of thing. an epic space story that spans the galaxy. The main character, Lucas, crash lands on a mysterious planet that's half megacity and half forest. He must survive the harsh climate of the planet, infiltrate the fortified city, and find a way off-world before disaster strikes. The story is called Gathering Mass because along his travels, Lucas is joined by a plethora of unique characters. Together they solve mysteries, go on missions, and prepare for a looming threat on the horizon. The vibe pulls from Star Wars more than Star Trek, but there are elements that feel more familiar to a galaxy much closer to home. So far, I've written 28 pages. The goal is 300. And then the last 2 books are follow-ups to other things I've done. So I want to do Confused at the Buffet, The Second Plate, which even more stories. There's one about the Illuminati. There's one about the Matrix. There's one about a crazy arsonist. And of course, I'll have the talented Chris Guzman, who did the art on the first one, do art for the second one. All in all, I want to have roughly 250 pages or more of short stories. Right now I'm only at 42, so there's a lot to be done. And last but not least is the Smile Darn You Smile follow-up. I don't know what it's gonna be called. I don't really know the title, but it's gonna be it's gonna pick up right where the last one left off. Right after a big tragedy, big heartbreak, he has to pick up the pieces and move on with his life. We're gonna cover it all. First jobs, second loves, big moves, big dreams, clowning around, a brush with stardom, a brush with death, and it's all going to culminate and end up basically where I released the first book in 2023. So it's going to cover a large span of time. My goal is something like 275 pages, and I have about 20 pages written so far. Well, that's the video. Thanks for watching. That's all 12 major projects coming out.
I counted 11. Mike, you're such a liar. How dare you bamboozle me like that? What are you going to do about it?